Good morning, good morning, good morning. Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee. Let's start with Martin Armstrong. I don't talk about him that much anymore. I used to talk about him a lot in my gold and silver days in the early 2000s. Brilliant guy. There's no doubt about it. Computer expert from the 1970s, 60s, and 70s, right when there was just a handful, him and Greenspan and a few others. Um, I think Martin tapped into what Greenspan was using to rig the markets, his program. So there's a lot of overlay there. The government stuck him in jail for, I think it was 7 years, basically because he didn't want to turn over his computer programs, which is really interesting. And they stuck him in jail for a non legal reason. It was contempt of court. No one's ever been in jail that long for contempt of court. But we live in a criminal system. Interesting, they let him out right around the financial crisis when I believe the good guys took over in 2008, 2009. So Martin's been out talking. I do believe he's working with the good guys to take down the criminal banksters. He knows all about gold and silver manipulation, but refuses to talk about it, other than here and there. So well, I was the one in charge of liquidating, or they wanted him to liquidate the Hunt brothers. He knew all about it, and Buffett's entry into silver. Is Martin Armstrong lying to us? Yes, he is. Has he been correct? Yes, he has been for the most part. Will he be correct moving forward? I believe he will. I believe the idea is to prolong the unbacked fiat system as long as possible, and Martin's working with the good guys to do just that. So, having said that, Martin is predicting the fall before the rise. He sees another stock market rise, like a false fall beforehand. And this is all done with computers and derivatives. So he can say his programs are determining what the true free markets are doing, but there aren't any free markets anymore. So, but I do think he has an inside scoop from the good guys within the system that's rigging the market within the Fed and the Treasury and all that. All this is being done to destroy the unbacked fiat system in the current bad guys, as I call them. Anyway, here's a question. Martin Armstrong, I find it fascinating that your computer projected August is the turning point this year and the week of September 4th. In the week and the week of 9/4. Oh, that's 2004. So Martin had projected a turning point in August way back in 2004, which is damn good. I think he tapped into the Greenspan computer model. I suppose that you could be set up for the August being a high close, and a crash begins in September, as it seems always to unfold, be it 1929, 1987, 1998. Do you have any idea why a crash seems to come always in September and October? This is played out so far as you laid out in Hong Kong. I think I will come to it Orlando as well. Martin does these conferences where he tells the world what he's thinking and where the markets will go over the next year or so, or more. Here's Martin's answer. This is an interesting question people have been asking all my life. There is no real fundamental explanation why wars perk up in August and markets tend to crash in September and October. The joke has been the family spent too much on vacation, so they sell stock in September to pay the bills. It is definitely seasonal. Remember one major thing, and this is why I'm reading this article. This is the move that has to suck people in on the wrong side in order to create the energy to swing back in the true direction. This is true in stocks as well as gold. I have warned that we cannot get a potential huge false move, which can be the biggest in history. The bigger the false move, the bigger the real move. I have a feeling this is going to be very interesting at his conference in Orlando. So Martin's all about the swings, the big swings, the market blow off tops and the big bottoms. That's what happens when you're going to slingshot into either a crash or a boom. It sounds like he's predicting a big crash and then a major boom with this. We'll see. Again, Martin Armstrong is hooked in with the good guys. That's how he got out of jail. And at the time he got out of jail, and what he's doing right now is keeping some of the big, huge money away from silver. You'll never, very rarely will you see Martin Armstrong even talk about silver, other than say, no, silver market's not manipulated. The big players, I know because I was asked to help with the big players to manipulate the markets. So it goes round and round with Martin. If the amount of billions, the many billions of dollars of investment money that Martin steers in different directions can move markets. Imagine if Martin Armstrong say, hey, all you multi-billionaires who follow me, silver's a no-brainer. Physical silver in your own possession is a no-brainer. Go get all you can. Bingo. The entire system is destroyed because people wake up and see that they could buy silver and destroy the criminal banking industry. So it'll be interesting. I don't know when Martin is going to pull the trigger. He's getting older as well. Remember, he was a computer programmer in the late 60s, early 70s. Alan Greenspan, I would say less than 100 people were computer programmers back then. And that's in the late 60s especially. And Martin was one of the first guys. So they tapped into the same thing. And I know Martin has commented on the Bix Weir theory that Alan Greenspan was a computer programmer. Martin doesn't think he was. And bravo to Greenspan for keeping that hidden all these years. Because that's what he had to do. If you're going to rig the system, be the man behind the curtain pulling the strings of the almighty Oz, you got to be hidden, because otherwise they would have taken out Greenspan and Stephen DuVoe and all the people that, Arthur Burns, all the people that worked behind the scenes long ago. So Greenspan's getting old now. I know he wants to see the end of his mastery come to fruition at some point before he kicks the bucket, if you ask me. Yes, he is watching this right now. He always tunes into the Road to Ruta. That's just what I heard. I haven't been directly contacted by him, but a lot of people are talking about the Road to Ruta theory. Is the U.S. government intentionally trying to destroy the dollar at this point in time? I think absolutely they are. We are, because we're the largest debtor nation in the world. There's no way out, and there's a way out. The way out is to destroy the unbacked fiat system. That way you get out without losing, having to pay back all that debt in real stuff, in real pain and suffering and land and gold and silver and things like that. So moving on, let's talk a little about silver. I took another trip to the silver store yesterday to stock up on more silver. Liquidated a couple of the cryptos, nothing big. I just try to keep my ratio now at 10-1, 10% silver and 90% cryptos. And that even the cryptos are split up into, I have some of the currencies. I have Litecoin, and we have one Bitcoin right now. But Litecoin is going to be huge for the future as a means of exchange. I think that will be the winner out of all the other cryptocurrencies. The other thing I invest in is companies. Tokens used for a specific purpose within an industry, a company that's being built that has had an ICO, a company like Salt Lending, where they're putting together a company to give crypto-backed collateral loans. These are non-recourse loans too. That's the other thing. Non-recourse meaning when a bank lends out money, that money is secured on an asset, but it's non-recourse to whoever is borrowing it. So you can do pretty much whatever you want with that money, and if you don't pay it back, they're going to liquidate your collateral, but they can't come after you. There's no credit checks. There's nothing like that. So it's non-recourse to the borrower. So say cryptos, you take $1 million loan out with a $1.3 million in Bitcoin that you give them, and then Bitcoin goes to zero. The bank cannot come back to you and say, oh, by the way, your collateral went to zero, so you owe us this much money. No, these are non-recourse loans. That's why the rate is higher, and you are not signing away your future, other than your crypto you're putting up as collateral. You're not signing away your life, which a lot of these banks will do. They'll come after you for your mortgage and your shortfall and all that stuff. So yeah, companies like Salt Lending, Veritasium, which is changing the way exchanges work. I'm real excited about the next few months for Veritasium because the stock's been, or the token has been hovering in the $100 to $200 range. Very volatile, obviously, but there's so many announcements to be made about Veritasium and the implementation of that technology into our markets, our exchanges, which are the most criminal things in the world these days. And Veritasium will inject truth. So yes, things like that. I'm probably 80% of all the cryptos I invest in are crypto companies with a reason and a purpose behind them. They're doing something out into the future. These are the Facebooks and the Googles and the YouTubes and the Apples of the future. Very exciting. Those people who don't understand what's going on the blockchain, you need to wake up, my friends. I get emails all the time. Oh, it's a bubble. It's a bubble. I think Chris Dwayne mentioned me. He called me Bix Bernanke. He still hasn't got it. I don't think he'll ever get it. I've heard him say he likes the blockchain though, so clearly he doesn't understand what's going on. But he loves his silver. I love silver too. Silver's hovering at 1738. I went and bought a bunch of silver yesterday, running out of room to store it because of all the crypto money. But hey, it's a good problem to have, right? And I think this will continue for a little while longer. At any moment, the silver market could freeze up. Although Cliff High's data shows silver continues to be rigged and controlled on the COMEX and the LBMA. And what really breaks silver free is a blockchain technology solution between the miners and the end users of silver. Basically, instead of going through the criminalized COMEX or the LBMA, where the bankers get a hold of your silver, they just bypass the bankers through a different kind of exchange using blockchain technology. So yeah, and those types of companies are exactly what the ICOs are about. Not all of them. Most of them are crap. And unless you analyze their business model, their white paper, all that stuff, and it takes a lot to start up one of these companies. It takes, I mean, if you could just think about the security, the computer program security that needs to go into these type of companies that hold hundreds of millions of dollars in cryptocurrencies. It's truly a huge effort to start one of these blockchain type companies. And unless you really know what you're doing, you're gonna, anybody can say, "Oh, I've got an ICO coming, and these are my tokens." But unless you understand, well, who's dealing with the security, who's on your staff, who's the legal part of your staff, who are your programmers, what have they done before, who are they connected with, how long has this project been going on? There's 1,000 different questions you need to get to the bottom of. And why do you need a token? That's always a big one. Why do you need a token? Why can't you use them back fiat money? Now, why is a token better? I know it's a way to raise money because ICOs are hot. But when those tokens start trading on exchanges, who would buy them? Where's the money coming from that's going to mean that this token is worth X amount in the future and this company is going to continue to grow? So things to think about on the road to Ruta, and really the road to Ruta did change, or has morphed into something that was just gold and silver as the means of where we can go after the system and the bad guys are taken out, to a crypto type of high-tech world. And it's clear to me, and it should be clear to most everybody by now. I mean, everybody says, "Oh my God, I wish I got into Bitcoin early." Yeah, those people are making out like bandits, blah, blah, blah. The reality is they took the risk. The reason you're not getting in today is you don't understand the risk reward aspect of it. There is risk. I guarantee you there's risk. That's why I invest in silver. It's a hedge against, it used to be a hedge against the US dollar, the fiat money system, and the stock market. That's what I use gold and silver for. But now I use it to hedge my risk in the cryptos. Because I'm not involved with the U.S. dollar or the stock market anymore. I'm hedging. My silver hedges all my crypto decisions and gains, and um, I think it's a good hedge. I think I will continue to buy silver to hedge my position. I'm trying to keep it at 10%, and that means I'm just buying more and more silver in the future. Yes, if it crashes, all the 90% will go away, but then the world is only left with gold and silver. So it should more than even out when used as a hedge. So yeah, my advice to people: continue to invest in silver through crypto gains. Don't listen to people who say, "Oh my God, it's a bubble, it's a Ponzi scheme." They've been saying that since day one. Those who took the risk on day one have been rewarded in spades. Those who take the risk today, the next 5, 10 years, 20 years out, will be rewarded in spades. And you will build generational wealth if you pick the right companies to invest in. We're in 1990 right now, and you're picking between the Apple and the Google and the Facebook and the Amazon. That's what's really happening. So yeah, nothing but bright things in the future. And I was going to go over zero hedge. This has gone kind of long. I think I'm going to do it later this afternoon. So tune in to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like it. Go to roadtoruta.com. Check out what's going on over there. Make sure you sign up for the emails. Put your email. That's a free service. And then check into the private road service. I am giving away a Ruta coin, a real silver coin, really cool design. Go check it out in the subscribe now button, I think, or right at the top, or subscribe on the left tab. And then also with it right now, until Populous goes crazy, I'm giving away one Populous token on a paper wallet that's put inside your coin, and it gets mailed to you. So even if you don't have cryptos now, you can go to Road to Ruta and sign up for a 1-year membership and end up with one Populous token. I love that company, Populous. That's another great one. Deals with invoice factoring, meaning banks financing invoices for small to medium-sized companies. Huge moneymaker for the banks. Populous is taking all that business away from the banks over the next couple of years. That's real exciting. As the old system dies, a new system is being born, and that's what we're investing in. Anyway, this is Bix Weir. We'll talk to you later.